Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Guess the WN8 series, where I guess my viewers' WN8 and Win Rate after they submit replays to me. If I get within 250 of the WN8 or 2% of the wins, then I win and I don't have to give them gold. If I fail, then I give them gold and I'm very, very sad. Today, we've got a T55, and it's another paid replay submission, which is a great way to support what I do. So if you're interested in submitting, you can look in the description for the rules. And if you donate with the £5 donation link, then it guarantees that your replay is used. So that's cool. Can I just appreciate that we've got Llama, Low Noise, and CVS. Now, look, I do a quick reminder. I go to tanks.gg, I look up the tank just before I review the replay so that I can give you guys accurate and useful information. I gotta be honest, the camera rating was not the thing I checked for the T55A. I did turret armor, Capella's like 150. It's got the overlatch, 30mm. Was not looking at the camera rating. But now it's like 6% better while on the move. So we're Scout T55A, I guess. This is either a really good player memeing or a really bad player who's bad. But we've got a premium consumable, 221 pen on the AP that we have here, decent stock of that. Decent stock of premium, which you'd expect from the medium tank of this ilk. Working with 330mm a pen, and gotta remember that is the same at any distance when you're talking about heat shells. None of those dastardly APCR shells that lose pen as they travel through the air majestically. Nope, here we got 330 pen no matter where we hit. Okay, and this game is gonna make you feel some sort of way. That spaced armor, the Superconk is not looking like it will appreciate the penetration of the heat shells. Heat shells do not do well against spaced armor. Oh, that was a very ambitious shot. And you can see we're at 460 meters here. Now, the maximum distance that a tank can be spotted at by another tank is 445. So unless we see an enemy tank that is closer than that number, we will not be spotted by it. Oh, and the EBR getting lit, that is a crucial kill. Absolutely worth taking the damage to pick up that kill. That is beautiful. I do not know what spotted that EBR. Might be the STRV, but that's very weird for an EBR to be spotted in that circumstance. Very odd indeed. But now we have... interesting. I was about to say a level playing field. The Batchat got spotted. So we can assume, someone's pinged it, we can assume presence down here. Now, if we're talking about camera rating and things left on the enemy team that can present a decent danger in terms of camera rating, we're only really looking at one tank, and that is the 432. Right, object 432. It looks like a source pan. I mean, it's the upgrade to the source pan. But it's very low profile, and as such, has a very low camera rating. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what outspotted Batchat, because I'd honestly defy anything else on the enemy team to do so. Unless we've got like a 268 up top set up with binos or something like that, which is possible, I guess. Oh, and spotting at T95, okay, this is going to be interesting. 305mm of frontal armor. Now we do have a smorgasbord of tanks shooting at it, and pretty accurate fire as well. 286 from the BL10 of the 704 there. STRV knocking around to 300mm of pen. Fire discipline working its magic then. T95 goes down very, very quickly. Good shooting. Concept 5 picks him up in the end, probably with a heat shell from the lower plate, given how open he was. But each team has had an effort at egress up this flank that has not exactly worked. And that, my word, that exhaust system doing favors for Mr. T55A. I don't know what the cannon rating of this tank actually is with this setup. I would guess somewhere in the vicinity of 25%. That's an interesting blind shot by the arty there. And very well done by this gentleman, not moving. And that's an interesting distinction, because unlike playing this position in a light tank, right, like a MX-1390 or something like that, the cannon rating of the T55A, being that it's a medium tank, will go down if it moves, right? It's not like a light tank where you can make that tiny reposition, get a little further into the bush. No, these kind of distances, if you move to make that tiny readjustment, it can be the difference between staying stealth and being spotted. So interesting that he had the awareness of that. Let's talk about CVS, because he is using one here. Spots the 268 as well, holy crap. So, the reason that the CVS is so good on a map like POC is primarily due to the influence of stacked camo. So stacked camo in WoT attacks is what you see ahead of you. It's foliage on top of foliage on top of foliage, right? All of these trees that you see in front of you, all of these bushes will have a certain designated camo value that they will provide. Maybe some of the thinner trees that we see here are like 10, maybe the thicker ones are like 20, the bushes are like 30, 40, yada yada yada, right? But if they stack, if there are multiple bushes between you and the enemy, that camo value adds up, as you would expect, but it only adds up to a maximum stacked camo of 80. That is the maximum that camo can provide to any tank in the game, no matter how many bushes, trees you are behind. Your maximum camo given to you by foliage is 80. Unless some random player in a feckin' T55A on the enemy team has a CVS. If that is the case, then the maximum camo provided to every tank in the game by stack camo is somewhere around 66%. It just fundamentally changes how camo works in that capacity. And that's one of the reasons it is so good on maps like POC, where there are multiple layers of foliage. Because while everyone else who doesn't have a CVS is trying to spot through 80% bonus camo, you're only spotting through 66. And that is a huge advantage comparatively to the other tanks that, as I say, are working through that 80% bonus camo. In other words, CVS is broken. CVS is bad for the game, yes. Okay, patience was merited, but now we're looking to get a bit more active. Interesting position here. Are we going for the mid? This doesn't feel good to me. We've seen the Superconk poking in the mid repeatedly. I'm gonna wait and see where we're going. No. Why? Did you have any idea where you were going? Was this just opportunistic? Like, make a decision. If you were gonna scout, you move slowly up in this bush line, right? If you were gonna come to mid-range, then you stay low until you come up and over, surprising people, right? You don't do both at once and just go in the middle and get spotted on the highest ground as early as possible. My word, that was dumb. Very lucky not to die to a Death Star 268 there. Very lucky. Oh, to be clear, I like claiming this position. I think this is a valuable position to have, particularly with the CVS, right? I think this is a really good position to take. But the way you took it was really, really poor. Now we're going to be aware of the presence of Artie. And now, from a tactical point of view, you should leave. You have got, now, you got the Pajero killed, you harassed the 268. Any further time that you spend here, I do not believe is going to be beneficial. I don't think you're going to spot that 268 again, because he's not going to be that bold. I think you will get spotted, and you know now that at least one arty is targeting you. Right? At this point, you should leave, having shown that aggressive gameplay, and now you should start to work passively up here, now that you've dissuaded a bit of the enemy aggression. I think the longer you stay here, the more substantial of a misplay it becomes. E75 goes down, we're poking. Wow, we spotted that. And this is what I mean about stack camo, lads. Spotted that Death Star through multiple articles of foliage. Because foliage doesn't matter what he's behind. It does not matter how many bushes that guy is behind. He gets 66% camo at max. This guy's landing optics. Landing exhaust. He can spot even at a substantial distance because of the way that CBS works. And this IS-4 is very bold. Why we... Okay, stop. No. The best thing, in my opinion, to do there might have been to stop. To hard stop in front of this guy. Try and keep him on the high ground. You've got an STRV high shooting down at the top of his turret. You've got the 704. You've got this Toro. I think the best play... I would have hard stopped in front of him. I'm not sure. It might have got me killed. But I think... Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. It worked. That's one of my situations where I might... If I was in that situation, I might well have just outplayed myself and died. Like that happens more than it should. But that's immediately what came to mind as you drove in front of him there, is stop him. You see that he's taking damage as he comes over, right? So short of tracking him, parking in front of him to keep him on that high ground, to keep him exposed, feels really good. And now at this point, again, I don't like being... Look. You got charged in this location when you were a 2-shot. Lord knows you don't want to stay here when you're a 1-shot. I don't like staying here. Why are we just poking here? Are we aiming for the... I guess we're trying to spot the Death Star on the 268. But look, every time we get spotted, we are in vicinity of, like, 2 RT hits can take us out at this point. Okay, Superconk's located. Now it becomes a little safer to be poking here. Little safer. Okay. You want to have a little caution, my man. If that Superconk's anywhere close to Pokemon list ledge line, you die right here. Like, there's no real rush at this point. You've got 5 minutes left. You can get back over there and slowly make your way up. Okay. Gently does it. That's what I was scared about, that Superconk at that angle. But Superconk's not important right now, because the Superconk does not matter if this flank falls. Right? If you get to A2, the Superconk's dead. Right? So you should work on providing damage to this flank. Because if the Superconk dies, you still have to deal with the 1-2 line. If the 1-2 line dies, then the Superconk dies. You want to think about what area of the map does the most damage to the overall power, the hold that the enemy team has. Killing the Superconk doesn't deal with the 1-2 line. It doesn't deal with the fallout position completely. It weakens it, but doesn't deal with it completely. Killing the 1-2 line pretty much nullifies both of these positions. So 1-2 line is absolute priority right now. We should not be spending this much time looking at the Superconk. It really isn't a priority. You kill that super conk by destroying the 1-2 line. Okay, gently does it. Look, there's an argument for speed when you are scouting, but not in this situation. This situation, you know you have a CVS, you know the enemy team don't. So, generally speaking, if you are counterplaying a light tank that you think has a CVS, you play fast, right? And the reason you play fast is because the likelihood is that you are both going to spot each other at largely the same time. And when that happens, you want to be going faster than the enemy team is. We can all relate to this. If we play light tanks before, you're moving up in the bush line, you're sneaking along very carefully, you proxy spot someone else, or you get spotted at the exact same time. And then you have to accelerate and try and run away, and often you die, right? The exact same thing happens if you do it at full speed. You spot each other at largely the same time. The difference is that you are faster. You now no longer have to accelerate from a full stop in full view of anyone. So it favors in light-on-light combat for you to go up that bush line at the speed of light, right? In this circumstance, it's not the case. And the reason is because you have a CVS and the enemy don't. So you have 80% camo, the enemy have 66. It's as simple as that. You are going to look how many bushes. Look. That is what a CVS does. All of this camo, every single one, 40%, 40%, 20%, 40%, 40%, 40%, 30%, all of that adds up to 66 because the T55A has a CVS. Okay, don't knock that down. Careful at the side, the super conk. My word, you are lucky to not get spotted there. Really quite poor bushwork. Oh, we just... What? What was that? Why not just... You could have just driven there, used a double bush and killed... what? Okay, I guess we just didn't care at this point. My. This is not indicative of good... Ram him! Damn it. This is not indicative of good gameplay or of a good player. I don't think this person is particularly good. I don't think they're bad. And I say that because there was stewardship. Often when people take setups like a CVS and optics, exhaust, they will scout poorly. The scouting was measured. There were a couple of positional missteps. Firing on that super conk at the end was just wild. I don't know how you didn't die to either the RT or the E75. So it's another one of those anyone can have a good game moments. I am feeling the movement from position to position. I think I'm gonna go with 49% just based on the positioning. Very measured at the start, and then maybe I'm being too harsh because he knew not to move. He knew his camera rating would go down. WN8 is a shot in the dark. I mean, it's a for people who don't know, WN8 does not consider spotting. I think it does mention it in the calculation, but it's a minute factor. Okay, I'm gonna go 49.5, and I'm gonna go 1.2 WN8. I'll go 1.2. Oh, wow, okay. Wow, better than I thought. I was being too mean, chat. I guess it's just because I'm an avid light tank player myself. Like, I love my even 90, and all I saw in that game, was just what I would have done in the same situation. But I'm a very experienced light tank player with solid fundamentals and a decent knowledge, right? So, yeah, I think maybe I was a bit too judgmental in terms of what represents decent light tank, decent scouting gameplay. Okay, well, another loss for me, chat. Okay, so, second game. It's another paid replay, so thank you very much. It is in the CS52 LIS, and that is a lovely matchup, an encounter battle on Pokrovka again. How about that? Lots of coincidences in this recording session. We're switching between Turbo, CVS, and Exhaust. We're gonna get another Poco scouting gameplay. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm here for it. Let's see if it can disappoint me less than the T55A1. We've got some bread and Senlac. We got 27 APCR, only 6 AP. I think, what was the pen of AP again? Like 215? 208. 208 and then 252 with him, I believe. 252. Also, shell velocity of APCR, 1,569. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so 50 kilometers per hour top speed, but working with a turbo here, so getting up to 56. This tank certainly feels, from my memory, it feels pleasantly mobile. And this is reasonably bold off the bat. But, you know, we're opposed by a SP1C, which is dangerous for this kind of maneuver. And we're doing some double bushing. Okay, VK, let's take that out. We want to prioritize light tanks on Poco. Immediate switch of target prioritization. I like it. Okay. Now, we're concerned about the SP1C. I like to see that. We're looking to see if we have a shot. It's solid. Okay. So, passivity for the time being. Oh, and a Berger comes out of nowhere. We want to be careful about that. We outspot a we do take the shot. Oh, that is bold. Look, Benosk's known for a lot of things. Being busted is one of them, but the other one is having CVS in annoying times. I would have been very, very conservative shooting there. That would have made me very, very nervous. Even with my exhaust and my own CVS. Now, at this point, do you want to consider bush positioning? Are you feeling safe on the left side here with that Benosk in such close proximity? Gotta remember, we're a medium tank, right? So our cannon rating does fall when we shuffle about, when we reposition. Now, one thing that we can... There happen to be 3 bushes. Really? Wonder if he saw that. Oh yeah, you got this. Maybe this guy's used this position before and done that exact same shot. Interesting. Okay, so... What was I going to say? I can't remember. Oh! Knowledge. We were talking about the Benosk having a CVS. CVS cannot be used below tier 8. So we know that the SP1C does not have one, which is pleasant knowledge. It's very useful information. Now, what's going to be interesting for me in this game is seeing how the dynamic changes after the Benosk dies, or if the Benosk dies. Let's fast forward a little here. Because what we're looking is for opposition, right? What on the enemy team can oppose your facet of gameplay? And in this case, you know, it's the stealth with the exhaust, it's the vision with the CVS. And we're not running optics here. We're just working with CVS. But as I've mentioned before, CVS does you wonders when talking about stacked camo. We're not afraid of reversing and putting out damage here. Should be a solid connection. Lighten him up again, and he should go down real easy. Very good. XMV killed the T25-2. So we know the XMV is at the back there. That's useful information. T43 coming up, and that CVS just breaking through that stacked camo with no problems whatsoever. And we are still so concerned, we are still so emasculated by that Bernarsk. Until he dies, we do not have options. But bang, oh, SP1C behind, SP1C behind, SP1C behind. I'm nervous. Okay, we're actually good. Bernarsk, ultra priority. Do we fire here? Going for the track shot. And he was a little nervous. He wasn't sure whether he was going to be lit there. Didn't get spotted before. Worth a go again. Go for the upper plate of the 88 is a weakness. Not a lot of people know about that, but it certainly is one. 252mm at our pen. Gonna butter straight through it. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now we can do stuff. We know the XMV is at the back, but now we want to... Oh, the XMV is in mid. Interesting. Now we want to clean up. This is not threatening. The enemy's best vision has overextended well beyond the reach of their adequate fire support. Really foolish play. Bernarsk goes down. SP1C is going to be an easy pickup, probably without even going up the bush line. But we know coordination activated, right? Which means you have spotted an enemy tank. So he knew that he was going to get spotted when he fired because he had clean line of sight on that XM. And when you fire, bushes within 15 meters of you lose 70% of their camo value. They go down to only 30% of their formerly provided camo. Now we're aggressively moving up here. Presumably, oh, that VK is just dead. Presumably, aggressively moving up here would, in my mind, prevent the XM from relocating back to the corner here, which would be a really good play if we could prevent that. Do we want to be worried about a spot from the left here? Look at what the CVS does. Look at what it does. That guy didn't have a prayer in hell of spotting this guy back. CVS is one of the most busted and overpowered pieces of equipment in the entire game when given its correct circumstance, and that is stacked camo against enemy vehicles that do not have it. So we're just moving up and we are just farming out here. But where's that XMV? Centurion spotted in the middle. There's the XM. Okay. That's nice. Is that the house? No. Okay. And this is funny. Bernarsk goes down, unfortunately, but we got lots of funny damage to be picking up here. Do we want a clear corner? What could be there? No, nothing's there apart from the arty. Okay, cool. And now we're still on full health. We are still on full health. The hill is not threatening until we get a lot closer. But bush work again. Should be spotted. No? Not shooting. Oh, now we're shooting. Okay. Alright, gorgeous stuff. Spotting damage comes out on the XM. We can just charge through at this point. We're aiming to collect that damage. I think that was a blind shot. Nice roll on the XM from that 320 alpha damage gun. We're gonna blind it. Oh wow, look at that from the Lorraine. What a kill steal, beautiful. Nice snapshot. Okay, now it's just about picking up what we can. This gun's doing him some favors towards the end here. And now we want to go over, take out the guard. Lovely. Could have gone down if the T-35M and the guard both pen their shots. 390 alpha damage on that guard. Is he going to get the 5th kill? Whoa! Okay, an explosive ending. Okay. I feel like this is a good player, but it's not a... It's difficult because he's either good enough to take risks because he knows or he has the experience, or he's average enough that risks don't seem that threatening to him. I'm thinking particularly of that shot on the Bernarsk. If he knew that he had the stat camo in front of him and fired because of that, then he's very good. But it seems like an awful risk, because you at that point, after the 12T is dead, you represent the best chance your team has of winning that flank. I mean, you saw how many tanks came screaming down there and all died because of him. I don't know, maybe this is my bias as a light tank player coming through again. We had that last time. I'm very judgmental when it comes to scouting gameplay. I do not know with this one, chat. I'm gonna say 58. I'm gonna say 58, and I'm gonna say 2.9 WN8. I think this is a very experienced player who knows what he's doing. Let's see. Ooh, okay, we were pretty damn on the money with that win rate, though. And we were right. Our analysis was correct. It was a very experienced player who knew exactly what he was doing. Cool. Okay, I'm going to use that shot on the mask myself if that's triple bush. That's going to be gorgeous. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, automatic even gold area. Thank you very much for watching. You can check the description for the next episodes and the previous episodes. YouTube memberships if you want to get access to these videos early. You can see the link coming up in chat and in the description. If you do want to submit a paid replay, that guarantees that we'll use it. If not, you can look in the description for details on how to submit for free, but do be aware that it will go in queue behind the paid replays and other free replays submitted beforehand. So, thank you so much, everyone. Do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and farewell. Bye.
Peabody, cheers from Germany, man. Thought I'd hide a couple silly verses, my friend. He is a nice guy like Ned Flanders, but wielding a band hammer that make viewers feel him like a gang member, yeah. You better never ever shoot versus the man, cause that's a jerk of his hand, hence you're a permanent ban, yep. Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but